Now, we reported on the Windrush scandal for 6 months, and we couldn't get the government interested in that time. But then, obviously, when it really broke through and people were very upset, were you surprised by the level of uproar around the Windrush victims?
I wasn't, actually. The British public, I've always felt, has a real strong sense of decency. And when they realised what was happening, there was uproar, and there should have been, given what had happened. So it didn't actually surprise me that the British public reacted the way that they did. I mean, I said it at the time, before I became Home Secretary, actually, the first thing that went through my mind is that it could have been my parents. You know, my parents, they weren't Caribbeans, but they were from the Commonwealth. They had a lot in common from people from the Caribbean Commonwealth that came to live and work in the UK.
But under this new policy, obviously your dad wouldn't be allowed in. How does that feel?
You know, when my dad came to Britain in the 1960s, there was a route that was set out by the British government. It had an independent immigration policy, and it was set out because the British government wanted, at that time it needed, a route for low-skill migration. That was the determination of the British government. And in my dad's case, actually, one interesting point would be that one of the reasons he came to Britain was in his village, which is a very small village back then in Pakistan, in the Punjab in Pakistan. He actually had, when he was about 16, I think he first noticed it, there were British government officials or people hired by the British government coming to his village, encouraging him and, well, not just him, but people, young people like him, to move to Britain to do low-skilled jobs, because that is what Britain wanted at the time. And he came, and I said today, I think that his first job was in a cotton mill, and then he went on from there. And today, the parallel is we are also setting out routes, different types of routes, because I think everyone expects over time, what the country needs changes. And so we're setting out different routes. But within that, there will be routes for people that want to come to Britain to contribute with the skills that we need to make their life here.
I can see that sort of politically. Does it make you feel just a bit sad personally, though?
No, it doesn't make me feel sad. It actually, I feel with today's policy, it makes me very optimistic about our future. Because what I also have set out is that we will remain the global outlooking nation that welcomes people and talent from across the world. We welcome people no matter where they're from, and we'll judge them on what they want to contribute and bring to our country. And that's what we will remain. And I say that because I think sometimes worth reminding some people, because some people, I think they look back at the referendum result and they think, oh, is that a decision by the British people to become more inward-looking, to turn in on themselves and to reject the wider world? Is it sort of anti-globalization? And I think it actually is an expression of British people say, look, we want to use a phrase that was used at the time, they want to take back control of immigration, but that doesn't mean to say we're not going to be welcoming to people. You asked me earlier, Windrush, was I surprised by the outrage by people? And I wasn't, because it shows the decency of British people and how they react when they see unfairness. I mentioned today another example of the Afghan interpreters. That was something that happened when I was Home Secretary. People came to see me and said, look, these Afghan interpreters, they helped our troops. Why can't we do more? And I thought, you know what, you're absolutely right. And I did it. And then people reacted incredibly positively to something like that. And I think that says something really positive about our nation.